guys get me tonight. Air Drake is officially on vacation, so it'll be me the rest of the week, which is fine. We get to hang out, listen to some sweet music, chart some sweet shit. I got some special plays for you guys if you stuck through. I got 3 charts that I'm looking at right now for some huge moves coming up in the next few weeks. So, I think we sleep, by the way, on the Omega scanner. It's like I made it, it's there, and all of a sudden, like, we never use it, but I swear to God, I look at it every day. You should too. And we're going to look at it tonight. So, wanted to bring this one up. This is an alert that came out. You know, we don't talk too much about the level 1s, but I do want to point out that the level 1s do have really good hit rates. Bulldog, I wasn't in the pizza mood tonight, but they are sitting in my freezer and I will make one. Promise you. Maybe this weekend. Usually Friday night is our pizza night, so that's probably what's going to happen. So I had never heard of Calt before it came out, right? Like, it's a low volume ticker. Not many people have heard about it. So it interested me when it came out because I was watching it and, you know, it didn't really pay until like just now, right? So it's one of those things where you would have had to hold it for 2 days. But man, is it going to pay tomorrow. So they basically had UFA news. Basically, they got a drug approved for distribution, right, through the government. Yeah, we could talk about ICE too. I got in that, and it paid hard. So this is one of those things where, like, I always look at it as like, what does someone know that they're only buying calls on it, and they're putting 50K on something that no one's buying calls or puts. There's no one's buying options on it, and this person's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna drop 50K on this. And so these are always ones that I pay attention to. And lo and behold, you can see, like, they bought the absolute top of that day. Like, literally could not have gotten a worse entry yesterday, right? It actually paid today, right? It popped to 21, so it popped $3 today. So it would have absolutely paid today. You probably would have sold here if you're a normal person. Yeah, ICE, I'm currently up 15%, I think. But I think ICE was up like 50% at one point and it sold off a little bit at the end of the day. But this is one where you just kind of got to trust the process. Maybe don't go super heavy, but, you know, look, it went from $18 and it hit 35 after hours. This thing's going to be a banger tomorrow. So, let's talk about ICE today. This is another one that came out. Was very interesting. Oh, let me just pull it. So ICE was the only 100%er today. Throw that on the screen here. We can plot it out where it came out. So you can see I had another level 1 on ICE today, 100% TFC score. You know, don't sleep on these 100%ers. It's very rare that these don't hit. I think the only one I didn't hit was, I think, BEKE, and that was about an 80%er. The 100%ers are bangers. Like, I was trying to explain the TFC score to my staff last night because I'm the one that designed it. And I was like, it's probably the most math-intensive algorithm we wrote, and we just barely used it until recently, right? And so now that we can visualize it in a better way, I think it's starting to come to terms, and people are starting to realize just how special this particular algorithm is. So let's plot this out. So 2:47 p.m., 12:15. So this came out towards the end of the day. Was at 2:47? That would have been here, and the spot was 134.73. So this one actually kind of died. 130.73. Right there. So they got in right on the wick here at the end of this candle. or beginning of this candle, and you could have gotten a better entry, and then it pumped into close, and you could have sold for a nice 20%er within 15 minutes. So I ended up swinging this though. I saw this gap, and I saw that it entered the gap, so I'm looking for this nice gap up tomorrow, either to it or potentially above it. And if you scroll out, the chart looks just, the reason I swung it is the chart looks fantastic. So if we get rid of extended hours here, you can see it's kind of got an inverted head and shoulders going on. So that was one of the things that really said, well, this could be a massive winner, right? So if this thing does break out here on this first chart, which doesn't have to, it might kind of ping pong around here, ping pong, but really looking forward to what this potentially could come. So these are actually on our website. So if you're a standard member, it's on the financial.cloud / probably just easier if I post it. So this is something that we have the beta version out now. It's financial.cloud / flow-alerts for standard members, but these are also in the miner flow, so if you wanted to look in miner flow, you can see them. But it's just so much easier to visualize and to see it in real time on the website, in my opinion. So, like, for instance, this is what it looks like on our website right now. So if we want to visualize it, this is what it looks like on the website. So you can scroll by type, you can pick which alerts you want, you can filter by cost, by TFC score, by expiration, by time, by type. You can choose if you want to see calls, puts, you can choose whatever, but you know, it's all something super cool we've been working on for a very long time. So be a major announcements this weekend. I have a big upgrade coming to this, so major upgrade, hopefully be able to launch it this weekend, and then we'll add it to the visualization tab. So it's on it's always been on. This has always been on Discord, so these alerts have never not been on Discord. They're just, sometimes when you're looking at miner flow, you see them coming in one by one. It's a little harder to digest, where with this, it's just all in one stream. It's a little easier as a user to digest, and to be honest, I have actually gotten better at trading since we've lost this, so... So anyways, yeah, our website is mobile responsive, so you can just go to the website on your mobile and it works. We purposely designed it where it will it'll work on your phone. I do suggest a tablet or desktop to get full use out of it, maybe an iPad or something, but totally get it if you're just a mobile trader and you want to see it. It does work. So let's see, what else do we have coming in today? So the big thing we were getting, and let's talk about some nimbuses here. Let me just so hold on one second. So you can see when FOMAC came out, we had a bunch of calls that came out. So what is that, like here at the end of the day? So these were the ones that came out at the end of the day. You see with varying degrees. Earlier in the day we had a bunch of Google ones, and I want to highlight that one because that was something I was looking at. So so this is really cool. Let's see here, 12:15. So the first rapid we had that came out was Tesla, and then we had a rapid in Amazon. So the Amazon one came out at the end of the day. Let's see if this one works. So let's pull up Amazon. Let's paste this. Amazon was probably the play of the day today. We were talking about it all day. I know Sig called the bottom on it today. This thing just looks gorgeous. So you can see this cupping action was getting bigger and bigger, and then it finally broke out here. You can see it was respecting the trend lines that I had here too. I've been following Amazon for quite a while. Jeez, what am I doing here? Make this smaller. Blowing this thing up. Alright, here we go. So this came out at 240 at 34.63. So you made a lot of call buying on these final pumps. So 240 at 34.63. So you see, this one you probably would have had to swing, but it should have made at least 10% because you could see it did pump all the way to, did pump $6 off of that. So you should be able to make your 10% on it. But the big thing I liked about Amazon today, and I'm just going to pull up all the Amazon flow that came in today. Look, if you were watching Amazon specifically today, you could just see literally all call flow today. So that should have been a big red flag for you. You can see as low as 3,300 it was coming out this morning, level 1, and you can see that the confidence score grew throughout the day. So you can see it was getting more and more bullish as we get the day. So it started out bearish, so you could see around 11 o'clock is when it started to turn. So if you look at the beginning of the day, let me show you the flow in the beginning of the day. So you can see it was a little mixed in the beginning of the day. Here's the other part of it. So you can see in the beginning of the day it started out bearish. And that makes sense, right? Because it went down from 3370 all the way down to 3300. Then all of a sudden it started to flip, and it just flipped it all the way. And then the whole day from then on was all calls, and that's when we knew we were going north, right? So, and this wasn't like an isolated event too. So, some other big ones. Let me clear this out here. Besides that, Google was getting a lot of them today. Let me search Google. We'll look at Google. So you could have entered on any of those alerts. So let's say we get this huge pump off FOMAC, right? And then you get the retest, and you can see I already had the lines here. And if you're curious what that line is, it's actually the 65% retracement of a larger move here. So that's the low to high here, and something that I've just had these lines forever. And you can see it retests that, which is also coincidentally a point of control or pivot, or also the top of this or the bottom of this cup. So it wicks that, bounces hard, and then you could have gotten in again on this breakout right here at 33.82, and you could have ran that almost $100 on that. That would have been such a bang and play. So let me show you what Google looked like today, and this was just ridiculous. Like, this is something where we knew Google was going to run all day. You know, it opened up, and it took a little bit. You know, we knew we were going to get choppy action into FOMAC, but it was pretty obvious what was going to happen after FOMAC. So this is everything that came in on it today, and a lot of our staff and members were already in it because of these unusuals and this Nimbus, especially in terms of like tech today. Google had the best TFC score. That's what drew me to it, and that's why I was talking about it on live today. I was like, man, like Google's going to go to 3K, isn't it? And it's just one of those things where we're just hitting it with $100,000 orders, one after another today, with varying strikes and everything. And you know, we highlighted the ones, like I said here, the Nimbus and the unusual. So the Nimbus came out at 9:13. It was at 28.44. So that would have been 9:15, 28.44. Let's make these different colors so they stand out. So you can see, based on this, you could have ran it even just this morning off the Nimbus. It went from 28.44 all the way to 28.68. So you would have captured a $25 move off of that, and then it runs into this pivot zone and rejects, right? Well, that would have been a good enough move for me. I would have been happy with that. I probably would have sold on these red candles here, and captured some nice. I didn't play it then, and I ended up not chasing it. I was a little. Things were running so fast at the end of the day. I was happy with my profits for the day, and I was just happy with the positions I was in, right? So, let's see here. And then later in the day, we just got a bunch of level 1s and 2s, and it just kind of kept confirming what we were seeing after FOMAC. And then you saw on FOMAC, we ran from 28.38 all the way to 29, almost a $100 move. So, were some other good ones that we ran into today. I know we got some leap flow today, I think. What are you getting that on? Was it ADP we were getting that on? Right? Some ADP leaps today. That was interesting. You know, that was one that ran from 227 all the way up to 234. I don't really pay, like, for leaps, for me, that draws my attention to it. I don't necessarily just go in those. Oh, we could talk about ice. Let's talk about ice. We didn't do that earlier, I don't think, did we? Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. I think we were getting... So some other ones that were interesting today. I'm just looking at the high scores here. So we got some Dash. Let's see how those played out. Got double Nimbus on Dash today. I didn't actually look at Dash at all today because I just simply hate the stock. So I am curious to see how those worked out though. Ooh, okay. This actually looks... I know why... So I could see it, just looking at it, you could see the inverted head and shoulders. So this would have definitely been on my radar if I had played it. I would have loved to play this falling wedge breakout, right? So you can see here, pretty clear falling wedge, right? Like right into the right shoulder. Man, that would have been a beauty. You could have played off that doji right there with the bullish engulfing. That would have been... could have entered around 151, but these came out earlier, so it's interesting. So this came out 9:43. This is all Central Time for me, by the way. So 9:43, right at 151.90. So 9:43, 151.90. All right, so this actually called the top right here. So this is also why I hate Dash, but you could have gotten in here, and then you could have on the double bottom here, bullish engulfing. You probably could have watched this. You'd see. All right, I could see this has a falling wedge. Let's see, does this have a special? Probably have to zoom out to the hourly to see what this looks like. Okay, so bottom of this is right here. It's not a. There's a little bit of a pivot there. Like for me, if I would have drawn my pivot, it would have been looking like this. So we got rid of that yellow line. So you can see this is a support and resistance throughout contention. So for me, if I looked at that, that would have been my stop loss there on it. And you can see it wicked into it, and then that's where we started to reverse. And I wouldn't have gotten in just because of FOMAC. I would have waited till FOMAC. So this would have been like, all right, I know the FOMC meeting is today. Let's throw this on my radar. And then I see the FOMC meeting right here at 1 o'clock. And I could see this downtrend break. And then it's starting to make this V-shaped recovery, right? I probably would have entered here after we knew that. And then if I didn't sell, I would have doubled down on this falling wedge break. And ran that to the end of the day. And that, you can see, even if you held that all day, never did anything, 151 all the way to 158, that would have been a profitable play as well. So I haven't looked at this one yet, but we're going to do it right now. I saw this when it came out. I didn't agree with it, but it makes sense now. So XHB, you know, not everything that comes out I take. This one came out. This had a high score, which is why it interests me, but I don't short home builders just because of how strong the market's been. But XHB, if you're unfamiliar, is the home builders ETF. So you can see, let's plot this out. 125, so towards the end of the day after FOMAC, 125, 125, and that came out at 83.86, 83.86. So you can see you could have probably snuck away with some profits. Looks like that went down all the way to 83.54. So you captured about a 30-cent move. I am guessing this is down. Yes, okay. So I was like, I am guessing this is down after our LEN earnings, and that was my thought process when it came out. I knew Lennar Home Builders was a large part of it, and so I was like, they're probably hedging their LEN long. That was my guess, is they're probably trying to synthetically play LEN earnings without getting the IV crush, which makes a lot of sense. And so it doesn't look like it went down enough after hours for it to profit. So this would have been a quick in and out, or just avoid it, in my opinion. With the market being as bullish as it was, I would not have been playing any puts at this time when it came out, in my opinion. So why is everyone always obsessed with AMC? Frank, maybe. I could look into that. Yeah, absolutely. That would be something that would interest me as well. Just FYI, this is my YouTube is experiencing buffering issues. There is tornado warnings going on around me, so that might have something to do with it. Yes, I did see the shop today, by the way. We got a lot of shop flow today, so I saw the shop. I saw the sentiment was pretty high. We can take a look at shop. That's not it. Holy cow. This music's depressing me. I need something else. One second. Alright, so shop, when did this come out? 1:30 at 13:50. Why am I like drawing like 12 of it? Oh, 13:02, I'm silly. Wow, they caught the bottom on this. This is fantastic. It was Arcane's soundtrack, by the way. It's just on my favorites list, so that was what was playing. Wow, they caught the absolute bottom on this. That dude, this could have been $1 million by the end of the day. This because they put 220K in this. That was, wow. That's got to be the bagger of the day right there with the unusuals. That's crazy. Yeah, so that went up. That's 100%. Yeah, so they just made $250,000 off of those. That's nuts. And this is why we made the alerts and everything. So it helps you focus on things that other people are putting their money in, and that's what I really like about it. Like that's why we look at it. So, I mean, Apple had the Nimbus as well. Look up Apple. Alright, so check this out. Let's Apple went nuts today. Did we know? That's the question. Did we know? So the very first one that would have attracted my attention, this came out this morning. Unusual. Oops. Oh, hold on. What is going on? So we had the unusual this morning at 9:09. So that was a little premature, but that came out at 9:09. Right here at 173.23 or 173.21. So that caught the bottom right here. You could have sniped that up to 174, made that. But if you would have held that all day, you could have went in on these inverted head and shoulders and obviously just played an absolute banger. Or you could have waited till after FOMAC like a lot of WUFs did, and then you would have seen this. So this came out, this is the end of the day, last hour of the day. First Nimbus came out at 178.68. So if we put this aside, you know, we had a lot of call flow towards the end of the day. So 178 that came out at 216, right? So 216. So right, 178.68. Right there. So you got in here, you could have played that up to 179.31, or you could have held it and swung it like a lot of people did, 179.50. It's pretty obvious if you look at the chart. This is probably going to go to all-time highs. I have a feeling, though, tomorrow's going to be consolidation day, so maybe you get something like this. And then Friday, you get the big move. That would also explain this 1-2. Like, for me, if I was going to do a count on this, and I know people have been making fun of my counts lately, but this looks like a clear ABC down, and then you get a 1-2. It would make sense to have a consolidation 1-4 and then into a 5. So if you're swinging these, you might want to prepare to swing them for 2 days, or hope you get a nice little pump on open to get out. But I do expect tomorrow to be an inside day after this end of the day pump. I think people need to digest everything that happened. So we'll see. PFE was one of those. I mean, this was one that you look at from this aspect. You can see it's a cup and handle retest breakout. Like, so good. Like, this was a newsletter play. It was so good, right? So like, if you guys read the newsletter, which I hope you do, I mean, we called this, gave you the whole game plan on it, right? So you should have known this all week, right? So you can see Air Drake talked about it. He gave you the validation breakout level 53.38, which was, you know, right here where it opened on Monday, and it just went nuts, right? So I mean, you could have caught a $5 move on this week, and this could have been the only thing you needed to play all week. We have a newsletter, right? Like, you guys have to read it. Like, we set you up. Like, if you only traded the newsletter, you would make money. Like, the whole plan is laid out for the whole week. So, alright. Let me look at a few more. Been on about a half hour. I want to go finish Hawkeye. Let's see here. What else we got coming in today? Anything that you guys saw that you want me to cover real quick? I'll take a couple requests. Anything that's coming in that you're like, hey, I want to see what you saw, Tom? While I pick out a new song. Oh, Adobe. Adobe is one that I can't play because it has earnings tomorrow morning. But we were getting put flow all day. Then we got a Nimbus call. It was just getting back and forth where it was like it wasn't a clear picture. With earnings, it was just better to stay away. AMD was interesting. You know, we got that huge pump from the low 130. I mean, this was the low of yesterday, a $16 pump. Did we know it was coming, though, is the question. Like, could we have looked at the tape and said, yeah, AMD was a no-brainer, right? Let's take a look. Yeah, it probably was a no-brainer looking back at it. So I just did a search here. You can see I have everything selected. There was no put flow at all in the last 2 days. No put flow at all call flow. I mean, if you're an AMD fan and you were seeing this, you probably should have taken that as a hint that, yeah, we're going to be playing AMD and it's going to go up. When I see stuff like this, like, and you can see yesterday we had the unusual, so it should have been on your radar. You know, you can see at $900,000, almost $1 million. This was almost a level 3. It was so big. And then today, from open and the whole day, they're tagging level 1s on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 level 1s on it. Different, you know, all weekly expirations. For me, that's a big thing. And even like, you know, from the entry here, from this unusual, what'd they get in at? 136.33 at 2:30, so half hour into close here. So if we were to go on the 15, half hour into close yesterday, so it would have been what was it, 136 I said, so half hour, right here they hit it. Yeah, you would have been hard pressed to swing that maybe because, you know, you would have been down toward a little bit towards the day, but if you swung that, you would have captured $12 move. And you can see, even with that, you know, what they're playing too. The reason that you see that unusual is what they're seeing this. They're seeing this downtrend break, so they buy on this downtrend break. This morning, we get the retest of the downtrend, and then it's just Moon City, right? And you can see, you know, you basically have a major support zone here too. So if you were to take the support zone here, you could have played the breakout today. Even if you were to get faked out here, you play the second one, and you know, even if you were to have that in radar 137.50 all the way, we would play a capture $10 move. Like, all these would have been such, you could have quadrupled your accounts if you went aggressive. But even on like a lot of these simple ones, you want just like the flow today on Apple? I mean, Apple flow is insane. So if you want just the flow on Apple, this is what the flow on Apple looked like today. I mean, that was pretty one-sided. Yeah, unusuals don't always bang right away. That's the thing. They're more like swings to me. But man, they usually know something, and they usually hit. So yeah, so Nimbuses, what unusuals are nice themselves, but then one thing that makes Nimbus cool. Oh, the web interface. He's like, I just want to see it, man. Oh, the music's too loud. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why. Like, it's like I got it at like 5% volume. That's why it's confusing. All right, yeah. Let me look at Apple here. The problem with Apple is it gets so much. It's gonna be a little overwhelming, but yeah, I could show it to you. Just give me a second. Thought I showed it here before. So, I mean, this is just the last hour of the day on Apple to give you a hint compared to like everything else. So, like, Apple's one where the only way I play Apple is if I get rapids, because there's always so much flow on it. Or I look at the overall flow on it, right? So like, here's the open of the day, here's the end of the day, and then like here's the intraday. So you can see there's a lot of flow that was coming in on Apple today. Primarily, and you can see most of it if you look at all the green. So if you were to stack these up and over, and you look like, oh, here, this would be intraday, this would be end of the day. You can see it's primarily call flow. Like you'd see, if you looked at that, you would say it's probably 80% call flow, right? So definitely a lot of calls rolling in on Apple today. Okay, we just did Amazon before. XBI, the biotech went nuts today. I think we were getting some flow on that too. I thought it was. Was it bullish or bear? I can't remember now. Hold on. Yeah, it was bullish. That's right. So here is the last 2 days of XBI. We had the unusual yesterday, but we had a couple put flows. So this is all we got on XBI. Let's see. So the unusual came in yesterday, end of the day. What was that? 2 o'clock yesterday. So the 14th. At 108.92. Right there. You can see it went all the way up to 110.25, so you would have captured a $1.50 move this morning. Oh, wait. Yeah, you would have captured $1.50 move at the end of the day, and then you would have had to hold through that, but it did end up going to 113 today. So yeah, really nice play there as well if you held through it. But we did have some flow on it again today. But for me, like, I saw the TFC score on it. Overall, a lot of bearish flow on it recently, which makes sense, right? If you look at it, like the TFC score takes into account not just the day of, but the day surrounding as well. So when you have this huge downtrend, no, I have not sold my Zim calls yet. I think Zim's going to be a multi-day runner. So this one was interesting, for sure. Affirm? I mean, Affirm has just been in a corrective mode for forever, right? So you had, this clear channel down, right? It's pretty obvious, this channel. I don't know if I haven't been paying too much attention to the flow. Let me see. We did get some flow on it yesterday and today. It wasn't a lot. Did get 2 alerts on it. They were both bullish, so that's interesting. So if we look in on this for today, why is my computer running slow all of a sudden? This one came in at 2 o'clock today, right here. At 109.39. So you can see it could have ran all the way to 113. You could have captured a $4 move. So, and if you looked at the one yesterday, it came in at 102.86 at 12.51. Right here and right. It's at 102.86. So you would have captured the bottom breakout here, ran that to 109, and again you would have captured again today. So both these alerts would have absolutely paid heavy money. Alright, that's going to do it for me today. went a little bit longer than anticipated, but I'm having fun. Hopefully you guys have fun. Hopefully this guy's kind of highlighted like how the alerts are used, and like these were the major ones that drew my attention today. And you can see, some of them take a little bit more patience, some of them take a little bit more looking at the chart, but every single one we looked at paid at some point. And that's really what we're trying to highlight is, we're trying to design and get to the point where you buy and you just make money, right? Doesn't always work, but for the most part, like, you'll make money if you follow the plan, and that's really what the whole point of this is. So I'll do this again tomorrow. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you want, shoot me some stuff you want me to look at tomorrow in a DM or whatever, and we'll see if we can look at it. So, all right, everyone, have a great day, night, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.